So we have a triple aspect on Aquarius and Gemini right now. Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn all aspecting those two signs. What does it mean? Find out. Hey, it's Sam, and I'm sitting here in India, in Bangalore, India. You can see below me is the wonderful Bangalore sky, the sunset over there. And it's been quite a beautiful time here I've been spending. And I wanted to make this quick video about something that I just noticed. Well, I noticed it a few weeks ago, and I mentioned it in an update, but I didn't really elaborate on it too much, and I want to do it now. It's something that I just discovered, and we need to be very alert as an astrologer to new things that we discover. And I noticed that we have 3 planets in a row right now, 3 planets that cast special aspects. Saturn let's start with Jupiter. There's Jupiter in Libra, Mars in Scorpio, and Saturn in Sagittarius. Now these planets all cast one-way aspects in Vedic astrology. And again, this idea of one-way aspects is something that I've talked about a lot in my teachings over the years. It's not a mutual aspect, it's not an opposition, it's one way. Jupiter aspects the 5th house and the 9th house. Mars aspects the 4th house and the 8th house. And Saturn aspects the 3rd house and the 10th house. Right? Of course, that's forward, that's in front. So something that's extremely interesting that I noticed a couple weeks ago is that anytime if you see Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter in a chart, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn in that order, with Jupiter first, Mars in the middle, and Saturn next, there's going to be a 3-way aspect onto 2 signs, because the same sign will get Jupiter's 5th house aspect, Mars's 4th house aspect, and Saturn's 3rd house aspect. And also, a sign will get Saturn's 7th house aspect, Mars's 8th house aspect, and Jupiter's 9th house aspect. And currently those two signs, as I record this in February 3rd, 2018, we have Aquarius and Gemini are getting 3-way aspects from Saturn, Mars, and Jupiter. Now, we often pay attention to a sign that gets the dual aspect of both Saturn and Jupiter. This is something to pay attention to, because Saturn brings commitment and focus and determination where we don't give up. And Jupiter gives optimism and hope, which is in another sense, not giving up. Saturn is not giving up because we're willing to work hard and persevere because something is worth it to us. And Jupiter doesn't give up because there's so much hope and optimism for that thing, or love for that thing. It inspires us so much that we're never going to give up on it. Like our children. We'd never give up on our children because we love them, which is the Jupiter sense of purpose. With Saturn, we're never going to give up on it because it's a matter of survival. Literally, we're not going to give up on our life. As long as I'm breathing, I still got a shot. That's Saturn. In fact, in a very primal way. It's good to remember these primal motivations. Saturn and Mars, especially because they're Tamasic planets, really have that survival imperative to them. So any sign that's aspected by both Saturn and Jupiter at the same time is always an area of life where we make a lot of growth and a lot of progress. often they will aspect 2 different houses in someone's natal chart. And again, that also includes by occupation, like, you know, where, let's say, Jupiter is occupying a sign and Saturn is aspecting it, and then they're both aspecting another house or sign as well. But currently, we not only have the Jupiter-Saturn mutual aspect on Aquarius and Gemini, but we also have Mars. Because as I said, Mars aspects 4 houses in front and 8 houses in front. So 4 houses in front of Mars in Scorpio is Aquarius, and 8 houses in front of Mars in Scorpio is Gemini. So it's pretty interesting. So as I record this, and as long as Mars is in Scorpio, there's going to be this mutual aspect on Aquarius and Gemini, and that's going to be until, oops, wait a minute, let me do it here. That's going to be until like into early March. So for the next month, and it actually started a few weeks ago when Mars went into Scorpio, which was, I believe it was like January 17th or something, until March 7th or 8th, 2018, Aquarius and Gemini both have the tertiary 3-way aspect of Mars, Saturn, and Jupiter. And this means that those areas of life, we can feel a lot of stress and pressure around them, but also a lot of progress. Again, I already talked about the Mars-Jupiter mutual aspect, which brings together unshakable determination and unshakable faith. You bring Mars in there and it's like unshakable courage. The courage to stay in there and work hard. Now again, there's also a lot of pressure. Anytime you get those 3 outer planets casting one-way aspects, or even when you get the 2, when you get Saturn and Jupiter, it brings pressure because, again, you want to just understand that the planets are a focal point. They focus our attention on something, they just activate something. And when something is activated, we want to do something with it. And there's like a restlessness or a pressure to do something. And there's a restlessness and a pressure to do something with the Aquarius, Gemini areas of life. So, of course, those signs fall in a couple houses for you. You know, like if you're Aries, it's your 3rd and your 11th house. If you're Taurus, it's your 2nd and your 10th house. If you're Leo, it's your 7th and your 11th house. Of course, if you're Gemini or Aquarius, it's going to bring some pressure because obviously it's your 1st house of your identity and your 9th house of your teachers and whatnot. So keep that in mind right now as we're currently in between this eclipse cycle as I record this on February 3rd. We're going to have the solar eclipse February 15th, but we just had the lunar eclipse a few days ago. So notice that feeling of pressure on the Aquarius, Gemini area of life as well.